It's showtime. We're live. Hello,
Right.
Good evening and welcome to the 23 podcast show. We're on episode 21 now. What day is it? I've no idea. Back here again with your host, myself, David Blair, and tonight I'm joined by a festival legend across multiple countries and continents and music promoter around the world. A man of many festivals and a man of many gigs underneath his belt. Chris Knight, how are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, can't complain. Nice to be here. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us in the 23 universe tonight. I'll flash up your nice press shot there.
Yeah.
What's underneath the shirt?
That's shot outside the sub club. That shot. It's Run Cla, KLA, which is Kampala. It's a wee design label in Kampala, so I picked it up when I was out there.
Nice.
Years ago. Yeah, the old Run DMC style.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Did Public Enemy also have something similar along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? Who hasn't had their own take on that T-shirt?
Quite right.
Yeah.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery, they say.
Indeed. Yeah.
My T-shirt tonight is a wee homage to one of the bands that you should have had playing.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, they're great graphics, isn't it? Yeah.
Intergalactic brethren from out there in the real cosmos, Henge.
Yeah.
All hail Henge and their Cosmic Dross experiment.
Yeah.
It's here to save the world. So just to give a quick wee roundup, just for a few of the other graphics here in the graphic suite before we just pop to our phones as per normal, just to quickly give it a share and bring more people in. So I know Chris through the Kelburn Garden Party, which is amazing, family-friendly, just incredible festival and one of the most stunning natural locations in the world. We know festival season is impacted this year. However, we'll speak about the Kelburn House Party on Saturday, the 4th of July. He also is busy with Samedia Shebeen, the wee dub festival, and I forgot to pull over the Boomtown Fair, but I would like to speak to you about that as well, because that place is just next level, insane. Okay, so just at this moment then, I'm just going to quickly go to our phone. If you wanted to start off with some music, how about watching a wee Henge video for a few minutes, just whilst we quickly go to our IT and do the sharing?
Is that a question? Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Is that okay? Right. In case you had any other recommendations of anybody that you maybe wanted us to pop on, but we can fire through.
I'm going to
as I said before, we'll go for it. We'll go for Henge in praise of water, because we all love water, particularly in Scotland. Rightio. Okay, so just to give you an example of how this now works, Chris, on StreamYard. I'm just going to mute both of us, go to share screen, and then we can watch the Henge video in praise of water through this. So enjoy. We'll be back in a few minutes.
life and you do so affably. Reacting with infrared light to provide my energy. Liquid crystal, you're making my cells like a living battery. Charge them so that I can exist in the human capacity. Alive to praise the glory of the water and the glory of the land. So that I can exist in the human capacity.
All right.
And we're back, Chris. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
All sharing across our platforms has been done. How good are Henge?
Yeah, man, absolutely fantastic. You know, I mean, absolutely out of nowhere. You know, you can't really compare them to anyone, can you? I had the pleasure of warming up for them, DJing before them in London last summer, actually. At a wee festival, you know, and it was Camberwell Fair. It's called. It's like a community festival a friend organises.
Right.
You know, and I mean, just what a joy to pull out some sort of cosmic funk and blues and whatever it was to play before them. You know.
Yeah. It's an incredible melting pot of music that they've got. Shout out to Alan Govan from Mugstock because he introduced me to them. He discovered them and they were booked for the first Mugstock.
Nice.
The first intergalactic booking for that festival anyway, and I loved them that much that we then asked them to come and support us, be one of our special guests to open the West End Festival in Oran Mor a good few years back now, 2015 or 2016 maybe.
Yeah, I think it was through you that I discovered them actually, David. I think.
Yeah, I kept on.
Yeah, I think you did. That's right. Yeah,
you need to get these guys booked.
You didn't have to persuade me. You know what I mean? Like anything that recognises the infinite of the cosmos through music. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
the clues in the Astrojazz, isn't it?
Well, this is true. Yes, this is true, and also, well, this is a symbiosis of the 23 universe, because it's also to do with the cosmos. We're all one. There's actually a great in my graphic suite, which I go back to from time to time. I love Carl Sagan, and I love his quote: the nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our bones, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are all made of star stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And
that's
where we'll return to as well,
We will.
We'll
go back out there. Our electrical activity will leave our spacesuits and join the Jungian collective consciousness, and end up somewhere else. Just so you know, I've just given the Henge YouTube channel a share in the comments there, along with their Facebook page. Please give their YouTube channel a subscribe, like their Facebook page. Give us a shout out in the comments. Let us know where you are in the cosmos. What you're representing today. We'll give you a wee shout out. So there's Bob. Bob's, something other than ruddy folk music. That's his Alan Partridge reference. Bob and I have a wee sort of competition per show, how many Partridge references we can squeeze in. So Kelburn, that's how we first met, and I've lost count of how many times we've played Kelburn now.
I remember. I remember the first time you played. I mean, God knows, I don't know what year it was. I mean, I think must have been John slipped me a CD right when it was a demo. Probably your first demo CD, and I remember it in the car going on a family trip or somewhere, in the car, and I was sold, and you played. Yeah, you played the Viewpoint stage first on the Sunday. I remember it was like Head and Cats. It really was,
Yeah,
and
I've got a picture of it.
And then Samedia Shebeen were there as well, weren't they?
That's right.
They come on, yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do actually. Yeah, I do that. Oh my God, yeah.
So
yeah.
That's shout out to Drew Cox, Diane and David Cox, a lovely couple who go to Kelburn quite a lot, and that's Diane's wee big brother. Now he's about half the size of that now. He's about half the size. Aye, he's done really well. So shout out to Drew there. But I remember that, and what I distinctly recall. Firstly, before us, to give a shout out, was the amazing St Kilda mailboat.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's our pals now up in Newport-on-Sea.
There's a yellow. Yeah, that was a wonderful sunny. We like on the Sunday. Well, I like anyway. On especially on that stage, in the Viewpoint stage, on the Sunday, to people's minds are a little bit soft, a little bit melted from the night before, so you can really do some wacky stuff on the Sunday, and people are into it. They don't wander off, to the bar. They're like, "What is this?" And you guys in St Kilda Mailboat did the job, right?
Yeah, back to back. I think that was the first time we had met Mark and Claire. Shout out to them up in Newport-on-Sea. Where I once went up to visit Mark and Claire just for a wee overnight stay. Do you know that they've actually got a massive yellow castle in Newport-on-Sea?
No, I don't know them personally. I must say, I only kind of we obviously did the gig and that was great, but haven't really. Did they carry on as St Kilda Mailboat?
They did. We then played with them. I can't remember what. So we played with them then indoors in the 13th Note not long after that, and sadly, Claire took ill, and then that project finished. But Mark has been continuing on. He's got an amazing solo project called Haystack Monolith. I'll give the Facebook share for that in the comments as well. He's absolutely amazing with that. He's like I mean, even like between like kind of like folk acoustic electronica, like Balkan jazz almost, but like crossed with Ivor Cutler in terms of the humour. Just total Scottish comedy. I think he'd probably be an amazing booking for maybe up where what's Lorna Failbetter's bit called again? The Monument Stage.
That's right. The Monument Stage. Yeah, that's right.
He'd be brilliant up there.
Right.
We've got so many amazing memories. How many years has Kelburn been going for then, and how did you first get involved with it?
Oh, then so I'll start with how I got involved basically. So it was due to the graffiti project. The painting on the castle. That
I wanted to ask you about that as well, actually.
Yeah. Well, that was obviously Dave, and there we are. That was obviously Dave and Alice is doing. Alice, Dave Boyle, who's the director of Kelburn Garden Party, and his sister Alice. They had this madcap idea. The reason they had the idea, I've told this so many times over the years at Kelburn, is that in the 60s there was a render put on the original stonework of the castle, and it transpired some point since then that this render that was put on the castle was trapping water between the render and the original stonework. That's like 13th century or 14th century, that bit of the castle. It's one of the oldest in Scotland. It's bloody ancient. So the plan was to at some point take off that render and restore the original stonework, just to stop it getting damaged anymore, But so when that came to pass, Dave and Alice managed to persuade LG, Royal Glasgow, their dads, to do this project, to invite these graffiti artists over from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, to paint the castle. And he agreed, and kind of the rest is history. They flew over and spent a month doing the graffiti. I don't think anyone expected it to come off as well as it did. I mean, Jesus, is still one of the best pieces of public art in the country, don't you think?
Oh, it's a ring up again. Just to admire it.
Yeah. And even if you haven't been to Kelburn, you have to see it up close as well. The detail is just astounding.
Yeah, it's just what a beautiful work of art. I mean, the thing is well, like for a lot of people, but there are obviously like some negative connotations for some people with a castle. But then when you see that. And then just that first time we played there, we were talking about actually on that viewpoint stage there, being able to look out from there.
Well, your man is looking at the castle right now, isn't he?
That's it. He's just getting the perfect view. That was me. I took that picture from the viewpoint stage.
Right.
I've got a few pictures in here that we can go through, because. But the great thing about Kelburn, I love it in all your graphics, music, art, and adventure, and it's such like what's the castle officially called? Just Kelburn Castle.
Yeah, Kelburn Castle, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
But I think most people have rechristened it as the Psychedelic Castle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Because of that. So the fact that your festival is just such an all-encompassing, beautiful and positive assault, for want of a better word, on the senses, it's so fitting that castle.
I mean, the project itself informs the festival. I mean, on different levels. I mean, one, it was just audacious. The whole idea was audacious. It was going against tradition and heritage and the rest of it. It was multicultural. It was cross-cultural. Getting the guys from. We didn't get local graffiti artists, although there were local guys involved around the site at the time. The fact that they weren't going to go, right, we'll just get these guys. They went, no, we're going to go to bloody Brazil and bring over the top. I mean, Os Gemios, who did the artwork, they're the top guys. They did the plane for the last Brazilian World Cup team, for example. They've done adverts for, I don't know, Mercedes and the rest of it. So the fact they went to the top, and just didn't sort of, didn't compromise on it, I think informs what we try and do at the festival as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, that's the the aesthetic of the whole thing. It's a constant reminder of what we're trying to do, I suppose. You know, having that castle there. You know.
Yeah.
But
and just a nice wee link here just now in my own 23 universe here on the couch, my corner of the universe. You're talking about like that Brazilian guy being one of the top graffiti artists in the world. I was absolutely over the moon when you booked James Lavelle to do his Uncle DJ set. So much so because I've got the Futura 2000 artwork.
Nice.
My dad done for me. So I love my art. I used to be really into it when I was younger. Got away from it, but I've still just got such an amazing appreciation for it. A few comments here. Just quickly give a few shouts. Brilliant. There's Thomas Benjamin of Tom and Lou. Kelburn is magic. Our spiritual
nice
home.
one, Thomas.
Hands down, the best festival there is. I'm going to come on to Tom's story. If you remember who Tom is, he's got a very significant connection with his now wife Lou to Kelburn. Jenny Hamilton, big loves from Jenny, who volunteers and lives near Kelburn, missing the crew. Aren't we all, Jenny?
Missed you too, Jenny.
Do you have a glass nearby you, or you got your cup of tea?
I got the mug.
Can we raise our glasses to absent festivals?
Yeah, there we are.
They'll be back.
Yeah, stronger,
They'll be back. Yeah. We're all working on alternatives. There's Neil. Evening, David. Finished night shift, so tune in for the first dose of the 20th universe on the big telly. We're on the big telly. There's John Latimer saying that was a belter. So just to go back to Tom, I should probably know what year it was, but do you remember this?
No, I've not seen that before in my life. Wow, look at that.
Right. So
I have never seen that before in my life. No.
Tom, please correct me here in the comments. Was it 2017 you got married? So Tom and Lou.
I remember the beards. Yeah.
They got married at Kelburn.
Wow, okay.
So Kelburn was their proposal ground, wedding ground, and stag and hen party all together on the Friday night. Wow. And then their after party. That was Tom and Lou down there. The square stage when we were playing. So we had to make sure that both Tom and Lou obviously had a shot on the D's Unicorn. So I had a very specific task as a unicorn provider to come.
I'm sure you can make a living in that post-lockdown, would we know?
What? Possibly. There's definitely some. 2017.
Yeah.
The artwork was by Joni Corbett.
It's fantastic, Thomas. Yeah.
Art by Joni.
If you can send it over, we can share it on our page at some point. You know.
Yep, I will do because their third anniversary is coming up, and well, like many people returning to the festivals they love year after year.
We had a wedding planned. There was a party of 100 coming. I'm not sure, maybe from down south this year to get married at the festival. You know. So they've obviously had to make other arrangements, sadly.
To go elsewhere, or are they putting it back to next year?
I don't know. They're not even. They're kind of just people who approached us. You know, they're not part of the inner family, as it were. You know. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a great idea. I mean, it's just a sort of, you know, you can do it all in one go. It's a turnkey solution, you know, for a wedding, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. I've just given the Art by Joni Facebook page along with the Haystack Monolith page of sharing there as well. Yeah. So, I mean, just to go back and admire that Wedstock artwork again. So they also, I think they came to an agreement that they I think they had their own wristbands as well. So
right,
they got Wedstock wristbands made. And it was just so they got married on the Sunday, so that it timed with once that was over, they could then come to the square stage when we were on.
Yeah.
So we were kind of technically their wedding band, and then we changed our set.
And we paid for them as well, haven't we? Sorted.
I know. Totally. Everyone's a winner. And we changed our set, which we don't normally. well, we don't normally change like the running order, but we started with Dance Off, and then we cleared the space. That was the space cleared for them, and then Tom and Lou danced off to Dance Off for their first dance, kind of officially. So it was just
it's amazing. I mean, you know, I love it when I hear stories of stuff that's happened at Kelburn that I've had no idea about. It just shows you know. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes on, you know. You know, one of the best moments of the weekend for me. Well, obviously, it's like after it's finished, you know, we're all up the Glen on the Monday morning or whatever. But it's hearing all the stories of stuff that just passed you by because you're running about, focusing on your own thing. Do you know what I mean? Which is Mikey's going on the stages, and I just feel like that never happened, did it? You know, it's such a really fantastic part of the whole process. Is hearing all this stuff that happened. You know. Yeah. There's one I'm hearing 3 years later. You know.
I know. Well, there you go. And I know. Well, every time I see you when you're there, I work as crew at Glastonbury for Greenpeace. You may or may not know, and I know when you're working at a festival, it's completely different, obviously. And even when you're working as a band, there's a bit of a difference. Well, you know, obviously, like we're just herding cats anyway. Like wherever and whenever we're on, that's just how we roll. But I'm always conscious when I see you. I mean, obviously, I just want to thank you for all the work that you put in for that year and everybody and all the crew to make it happen. And then thank you for inviting us back. But then I'm very conscious of that, right? I already know that I'm talking to you right now, but your mind's already away, like trying to think about it. I've got 5 things after this that I need to solve in the next 5 minutes. It's
something that I've worked on over the years. You know, I mean, obviously you try and delegate as years go by, and you have a vision to sort of delegate to the point where you can just really be in the moment of the event, you know, and walk about and stuff. Especially I've got kids now as well, you know, and I've had kids the entire time pretty much, but you know, and actually enjoy it with them. So it's something that I worked on, but you know, it doesn't always work. But you know, being mindful and being in that moment is you know is important. You know, as part of the crew as well, to really look around you and you speak to people to talk to you, and then look around and seeing what's happening as well. You know.
Yeah, no, I totally empathise with that. And listen, you do an amazing job. On behalf of me and all the Kelburnites, is that a word? Kelburnians.
We're going with Kelburn campus. We're going with Kelburn campus. Yeah. The
Kelburn campus. Yes. Just thank you for everything you and the crew do there.
Yeah, thanks for the support over the years. You know, I know suggestions of the bands as well. You know, there's been a few. I think She Do the Garden was one. Yeah. There's been a few. Yeah.
That's right. That was a wee typically for them. I think that was their Scottish festival. There had to be a wee bit of rain. For them playing in that Sunday afternoon, but they absolutely smashed it. And like, I mean, they've went on to so many bigger things now. They're on our Greenpeace music team. Because there's obviously there's no Glastonbury along with many other festivals. They're doing a digital thing online as well, which is called Greenpeace Access All Areas. Okay. So they've just announced a lineup for that. She's With the Gun, Beans on Toast, Billy Bragg, Squid, Tim Burgess, loads of Matt Black, phenomenal act on that as well. So
Glastonbury, or is that?
It's not. No. Good for them. They've went the weekend before because I think BBC Sounds and BBC Six Music got in quite quickly and just claimed Glastonbury weekend.
I've got to tell you, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
me too.
Watching all that. I've never seen the whole David Bowie set. You know, I've only watched the odd shitty YouTube video of it, you know, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing that set. They're playing the whole set in full, I think, you know, so I'm a massive Bowie fan, so I'm really looking forward to that, you know.
Yep. We get quite a few comments here as well, so I'll just quickly run through a few of these. If you've got any questions for Chris, please let us know. I'm going across tabs here. Petra, My Pet Rocket Jolly, she's just commented on my personal Facebook post, so I got a notification. She's just jumped over from Mark McGee's You Call That Radio. Expectations are high, lol. But you won't be disappointed. I've got dressed up. I've got my reggae headband on because Chris also does the Wee Dub Festival. I've got my Hens t-shirt on. I've got my festival disco ball. There's Mickey Griffiths down in Wales. Thanks for tuning in, Mickey. Tom was saying the artwork now hangs above their bed. Oh, that's lovely. Till death do you part. Lou was saying that's a beautiful story, as and festivals are just full of those beautiful stories. We need to replace them somehow this summer. Mickey, only set of headbands I ever had, I bought at the cricket when I was 10. Same colours of DJ Blair. Oh, there you go. Bit of synchronicity. I was a dapper little mofo back in the day. Nice one, my man. Subtitles here are phenomenal. Kelburnians came out. Turn the subtitles off, man. Nobody's been killed by Indians. Like, take that away. StreamYard, stop that nonsense now. Turn your subtitles off. So, how many years has Kelburn been going?
Yeah, so you were asking me. You were asking me about the start. So, so that was 2007 was the graffiti project. Then, is that right? Yeah, 2007, 2006, and then Dave wanted to have a party to celebrate the completion of the graffiti project. And at that time, I was running a club night in Edinburgh called Departure Lounge, which was at the Caves. You could be in the Caves in the Cowgate. Yeah, spectacular. We were the first. That was the first club night to happen there. You know, it's really something.
Oh, really?
And we had we used to get a lot of Brazilian artists through and African and whatnot. So I just basically got in there. I was like, I recognised what was happening with the Brazilian graffiti. I heard on the grapevine, we had a few friends in common, myself and Dave, that he wanted to put a party on. And I was like, listen, I'm the only guy promoting Brazilian music, or one of the only guys in Scotland promoting Brazilian music at that time in Scotland. So I basically muscled in. And that's how we got involved, basically. The first one was like an unofficial garden party. And then in 2008, we went for an actual proper festival, which the police shut down with a month before. They whacked a £50,000 policing bill on the event in 2008. Yeah, this is like crazy. This is like Wild West back then.
The real police or the rave police?
No, the North Ayrshire Constabulary. We were the first. Up until that point, they'd only ever dealt with orange matches and football matches. Do you know what I mean? So they didn't know what to do with the festival. They didn't know how to cope with it. So that was what they did, and we had to cancel it. And then 2009, we came back and did the first actual festival. So 2009 was the first proper one. Did
they say so? In the first one, in 2009, did they say there had to be a police presence at it again?
Yeah, it was still. We managed to get the bill down to like. I mean, it was still something like 15 or 20 grand. I don't recall, but it was a shitload. And the festival only had about 1,000 people there, so it was a complete racket. I mean, the stuff that Eden Festival and other festivals have been going through the last few years, we've been in the reverse actually. So we started off with that, and then because North Ayrshire Council operate independently from the Defeason Gallery Constabulary, we've managed to negotiate quite well with them, to get it to a management level. So actually, thank you to the North Ayrshire Council and Constabulary for that, because I mean, all these other festivals know what it's like. These bills are non-negotiable. The police won't let it happen if you don't pay the bill. You know what I mean? So that was a big issue for us at the start that we got over. Since 2009.
So it's maybe a wee urban myth that's developed over the years that I've maybe picked up wrongly from someone, but I had heard or just believe, probably now wrongly from what you've told me there, that so like the Lord or a Laird's or a Duke's land, it's like a private royal borough in effect. So therefore, it's their decision as to whether or not they want to let statutory law enforcing policy officers, as they kind of like are in a way, to be on their land in terms of like just having. But you're saying like they were saying
never. That's definitely nothing I've had before. No, I mean, we still have to apply for a license like everyone else, and we still have to deal with all the H&S bollocks, like everyone else.
Right.
And if the police choose to charge us for a certain amount of police hours to be on site, then that's just the way it is,
Okay.
But we have built, we worked hard. Zeb, he used to be the general manager, and now Fodor Eileen, the general managers, have worked hard with the council to make it manageable, in terms of the restrictions. And whatnot,
I have to say, now that you've said that, obviously your eyes can't be everywhere all at one time, particularly all around the Never-Ending Glen and all the other parts of the site. But I think the only police I've ever seen in all the years I've been there, Chris, have been the rave police.
Yeah, so, well, like was it? I mean, you obviously, we really managed to get it down. I mean, I think they realised pretty quickly, they were reasonable people. They realised pretty quickly that there was no trouble at Kelburn.
Never.
I think.
Never
they
seen
must have,
anything.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, I do have the very first. I do have a good memory of the 2009, the first one that went ahead, bomb scare playing on the main stage, and there must have been 20 police officers just watching bomb scare play, and everyone going about. It was pretty memorable, But since then, no, it's true. I mean, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. It's got to be said.
Nice one. And shout out to Bomb Scare. They were going to be one of the headliners this year, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have Bomb Scare every couple of years, so don't you? So they were going to play on the Friday evening, I think. Yeah.
And in terms of this year's lineup, are you rolling over as much of it as you can to next year?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there was quite a big debate between like cancellation and postponement, and I think early on people were just like, we're cancelling, and then as it became obvious that everyone that it was all going to be off this summer, it made sense to postpone, and then just shift the lineup and postpone the whole event to a future date, So it's basically going to be the event next year that was supposed to happen this year, and obviously we had to persuade, like every other festival, we've had to persuade people to not get refunds. That's been obviously a big factor for a lot of festivals. So by postponing, you've got much more leverage in that. If you cancel, you automatically want a refund, don't you? So So that's the idea.
If it's something that you can't disclose, totally fine. I've been interested to know, like, a whole landscape, sort of roughly what percent then have decided to roll their tickets over. Just I'm trying to gauge what to give in the times that we're in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good for Kelburn. I mean, I can't give you a figure, but I mean, it's been pretty low. I mean, we're probably in the, we'd sold about half our tickets, by the time it's all kicked off, and maybe we've maybe about 100 or so, possibly. I'm not quite sure. I've asked for refunds, possibly more.
Right.
It's not my area so much, with the operations, but it's been, people have responded. I think as the whole catastrophes went on, it's been fairly evident that the whole events and festival industry are screwed by it, and people take quite a kind of conscientious approach, don't they? They want to support the festivals, and at the same time, people are obviously skinned as well. So if people want refunds, it's absolutely fine. They need the money, But
yeah, of course. You got to do what you got to do. What's the capacity of Kelburn?
We're going for 6,500 this year. That's including everyone. That's all the crew and artists and stuff like that. It's maybe 6,000, 6,500, something like that. Yeah.
Right. And what did you start off 2009?
Well, in 2009, we basically went too big, and like most people lost a load of money, but we went for about 1,500 roughly, and we probably got that was our kind of break even, and we got about 1,000, I think, in the end, that first year.
Right.
We started too big, and then after the year that we went down to like 500, and then we built very slowly up from there.
Aye, it's all festivals is just a massive learning curve every single year, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you get carried away with the excitement and the, you know, and man, I mean, it's ridiculous how much you learn over the years. You know, when you start off as so many, all the best festivals start off as a bunch of mates want to do something cool, don't they? You know,
yeah,
not as a bunch of professionals coming in saying let's make some money. You know, there's like a bunch of people want to do something cool. You know, so yeah, we all know that. Like,
trying to wing it right from the start. Hi to Mary, who's just joining in there over on the Twitch. Thank you very much. So just in terms of, we've just been chatting there about next year's festival. So it's on July the 2nd to July the 5th. Tickets are available. I'm just going to give the Facebook event for next year a share in the comments. If you've been to Kelburn, you'll want to go back next year. If you've not been to Kelburn, you should go back. You should go next year and experience it for the first time. It genuinely is set amongst one of the most stunning locations. So you've got a psychedelic castle. You get incredible sunsets out across the coast there, just down at Largs. It's got a beautiful, never-ending glen that you can go up in as well. It's occasionally got me on a unicorn riding across the crowd, or alternatively just doing a bit of crowd surfing anyway. You have an amazing team. So you got like Stevie and Allegra, Recompose, and Karen Carr photography. She's there as well. I know actually she had a couple of brilliant pictures there that she took from down in the pit. She's brilliant. It's amazing that all these photographers as well that come and capture. We would be able to share these images without like the aesthetic eye that they have. So there's a wider team behind the team as well, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, there's layers, isn't there? You know, but the capturing of it is super important. You know, and just talking about the house party now that we're doing the digital festival, we're having to trawl back through the archives, you know, to see what there is, particularly in the video, and you know, coming up with some stuff that I've not seen for years. You know, it's been good.
So just on the house party then, because that's the next thing that's coming up. I'll just bring that up again. We can have a wee chat about that. What I'll do is I'll find the Facebook event for that, and I'll give that a share in the comments too. So do you want to talk us through then what's happening with the house party?
Yeah, well, it's basically, I mean, you know, again, it's something that a lot of folk are doing. I mean, we don't want the weekend to go by without marketing it somewhere, you know. And so it's a streamed. I don't like the word digital festival, to be honest with you, but it's kind of it's a streamed event, you know, on the Saturday of what would have been the festival. We were kind of quite vague in terms of what we want to do until the Knock and Glurk. I don't know if you saw the Knock and Glurk event.
Yeah,
you want to check in that?
I checked, dipped my toe in the knock water.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I was up until then, I was a little bit kind of lukewarm about Zoom. You know, I wasn't sure about Zoom, and then, you know, I thought it was a bit kind of lo-fi or whatever. But then the experience of seeing all your pals and seeing, you know, people, faces from the festival scene and musicians and whatnot, all raving in the lounges or bedrooms or whatever, you know, on Zoom, really transformed it for me. It was such a surprisingly good event, you know. It really felt you had some sort of essence of being at the festival with that event, rather than just sitting home watching a one-sided stream. Do you know what I mean? So after that, we're like, right, well, it's definitely a no-brainer to go down the Zoom route, and then everyone can, you know. So we're doing that, and then we've come up with the idea of kind of getting a tent out in your back garden or wherever, and actually let's celebrate a bit of campsite tradition, you know. Get your camp out, get you know, do what you want, and then stream it from your tent, you know. And I think by then you can already legally have one other household in your garden at this stage, so you can invite some pals around from another house in your garden. And I'm pretty sure by the 4th of July you can have more mates together in your back garden. So the idea is have a thing in your garden or in your lounge or whatever, get your tent out and stuff, and we'll give tickets away to the best campsite. For next year. Yeah. I think it's going quite well, because we've all got our stuff in our cupboards, haven't we? We've all got our tents and a festival gear stuck away in the cupboard, so let's get it out at least for one weekend,
Yeah.
And we'll provide entertainment for it.
It certainly needs to get an airing for those whose last festival was maybe a wet one.
I know.
It's just like you've got to get your tent out at some point.
Well, if you've left it until this late, you've got no chance of use.
Can you imagine the state of some of the tents if they'd been packed away wet at the last one last year, and they're not getting brought out until the first one next year?
Schoolboy mistake that, innit?
Quite a few will be written off. I was just thinking, Chris, in terms of just for those who don't know Kelburn, and even for those who do, maybe just wants a very pleasing sensory reminder. I've got the official after movie lined up from last year.
Great idea. I would suggest that. Yeah, great idea.
Can we'll just play that just now then. Brilliant. Yes. Do you want to give a wee preamble to this then? Just a shout out to who done it then, or just whilst I line it up?
Is this last year's one? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. It was made by Recompose, which is Stevie and Allegra, and we work also quite a lot with Iona Lee, who we all absolutely love. The poet. She's for a couple of years now given us a little bit of kind of bespoke words to drop into the video, to try and tie it together, so you'll see that in the middle there. And we've been trying. Allegra's really good. She's really she's currently studying filmmaking in Prague just now, so she's good at sort of winding a story to the whole thing and giving it a bit of a narrative,
Yeah, brilliant. Just once we play that as well, I'm going to find the Recompose and the Recompose and Iona Lee Poetry Facebook pages, and I'll give them a share as well. Definitely, we're all about sharing one another's creativity. We need to be helping and supporting the creative community as well as everybody and one another. So certainly to come as we go through this portal and coming out the other side into the new normal. It would be great, obviously, if people were more aware of all these amazing creative people and musicians and all the rest of it. We've all been discovering and learning a lot, as we were talking about in the virtual backstage. So without further ado, I think this video is just two and a bit minutes long. This is the official highlights after movie video from last year, and I'll just mute myself and Chris. Enjoy this. It's probably going to make me cry, but it's beautiful anyway. Enjoy.
Here we go.
Here's what we do.
Listen, you put your right foot in and never leave the left foot out. You shake it when you turn it all about. Now let me tell you what it's all about. You got to get loose and go home. Ain't nothing to lose, it's your job. Whatever we do, no holds barred. And mama ain't used to hard drives, no. I tell her to go, yeah. B-double-O-G-I-E. The little mama wanna dance beside me. I tell her music man to provide me with something highly infectious. And now that we're being aggressive, and I don't really care what the sex is, as long as we're being selective. And I say just that we alright. You're working so hard, baby. Oh my Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, alright.
Let's paint the roses red by this castle in the sky, with a meadow for a bed and a lullaby that's everlasting. Look around you, as if life had only just occurred to you, as if truly listening for the first time.
And
There we
we're
go.
back. There we
Shout
go.
to Shaka Loves You, of course, as well. They provided the first tune. Yeah, one of our regulars too.
Yep. Jamie and Marty, good pals of ours as well. They've remixed some of our songs. After we played the Barrowland Ballroom, the inducted into the Barrowland Hall of Fame gig, December 2018, they were playing our after party in the art school. If we should hang out more DJs. We've Steg G DJing downstairs as well. I think with hip hop downstairs, and then those guys upstairs. They're amazing. Love what they do. Craig Charles is a big fan of them as well.
That's right. Yeah. They do it. That's right.
Get a lot of plays on his show, and also shout out to Shaka Loves You, because Jamie's been doing his Sunday brunch sessions, streaming from there, Facebook, YouTube and Twitch on a Sunday from, I think it's 12 till 3 or 1 till 4, something like that, but definitely check them out. Firstly, I'm just going to give, Mary was saying that was brilliant. It definitely was. Brought back some beautiful memories. Just giving that actual video I shared there, if anybody's wanting to save it, they can go and watch it again. We do know that there's a little bit of a lag. Chris, you'll have probably seen that yourself here from your side. The audio is perfect.
We're all used to the buffering and down and God almighty. I mean, just give us some music uninterrupted by fucking buffering issues or whatever, man. Loud as well, please.
5G. I've just given the Recompose Facebook page a share there. Keep your eye on what they're doing. They're always up to lots of amazing creative stuff. Shout out to Stephen Allegra, and also Iona Lee Poetry, who you heard with some of her beautiful poetry throughout that as well. Check out her Facebook page and check out some of her stuff. Just to give a shout out to some of the pictures there that Stevie captured. So that was a Recompose one, I believe.
It's Martin Winterbank, yeah, that one. You can see on the bottom left, it's got the names there, yeah. That's
right. This is another official Kelburn one. Who's that by?
That's probably Stevie or Allegra, I'd imagine. Yeah, that's Allegra. It's Allegra, yeah.
Allegra. Yeah. And the rest of the pictures that we had in there,
pretty much all of them are one or two, and that's Karen, yeah.
Yeah, there's Karen's too. That was great. And I have to give a shout out. Look, we were messaging one another before. There was a year that the Colonel, if he's watching, went feral. So we almost lost the Colonel up the never-ending Glen.
He's not the first, he's not the last, you know what I mean, to go off on a sort of spiritual journey up the Glen, you know.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
The Colonel went away to fight. The Colonel went away to find himself up the never-ending Glen. We went up in the bumpy bus. Let us know if you've got any questions. Mary's complimenting the photos. Yes, they are. amazing photos. Just the creative team there at Kelburn's just, and also, I mean, you've just got what a palette, what a beautiful natural palette to work from.
Yeah,
Kelburn for me, like, as a performer and just as a punter that goes and loves it, Chris. It's multiple festivals wrapped up in one. To me, and all in a good way. And I think that official after movie there, like, you see the segue where it's a different festival at night, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes alive. I mean, that's it. I mean, I think when we started to go up the Glen, with the Niven and Glen, and started to bring the artworks in, and when we opened the Beach Plateau, which is the stage right at the top of the Glen, that was sort of a few years in the planning, and I think the first year we kicked it off with an acid rave party who was I want to see Ato would say, but it's not. I was going anyway. We had the acid rave with a fairly well-known DJ from back in the day playing, and it just drew, hundreds and hundreds of people up the hill and up the Glen to the Beach Plateau. And at that point, it became a thing, and people discovered the Glen of Kelburn. So now really there's this sort of ebb and flow to the day at Kelburn, whereby it's expected, if it's nice weather, to take a walk up the Glen, and to explore and to kind of really stretch out. And then as nighttime falls, you kind of all gather back down in the heart of the festival, And by that point, the stages are starting to really build up, and the landing's pumping, So you do get that dichotomy. You never sort of feel like you're at the edge of the festival, You never sort of feel like you've explored it all, don't you? There's always seems to be someone to go on. Such a small site, a small festival. That's quite unusual, I think.
Yeah, really, agreed.
So there's definitely, you can have multiple experiences, in one.
Very much so. Just it's just a measure of the quality that's there, programmed all day and all through the night across all the various different parts of it. I mean, shout out to Mark McGee and what he's been doing with the Making Things Happen down at the Pyramid stage, and the other takeovers that are down there. I mean, when Glastonbury's probably footprint, I think the biggest festival in the world in terms of population. There's a ridiculous fact around it that when all crew and punters, close to 200,000 people are there, when after the gates are open, everybody's in the Wednesday. I think it's something like the 7th largest town in England. It's just a tent town. And I know Glastonbury like the back of my hand for all my years working there. And you actually, every year without fail, I will have to talk someone down. Maybe sometimes a wee bit worse for wear, drinking drugs, or a combination of one or the other, or both. But they're just having panic attacks because they don't know where they are. And they're thinking, I'm supposed to be meeting my pals to go and watch Arcade Fire, and they're on in half an hour. How can I get there? And you're like, right, okay, stop now. That's not happening. It's just not happening. So I always, when I'm talking people down from panic attacks at Glasgow, I always say to them, look, you've got to understand the spirit of Glastonbury is wherever you are is where you're meant to be, and just take in what's around you. And actually, I think that's translatable to every festival anyway.
Completely. I think it's a mentality, isn't it? And you do have the, I think, I mean, certainly one of my, sort of favourite things to see at about any festival, but Kelburn in particular, because obviously it's the one that I'm involved in, but seeing groups of friends come together after a day when they've each been off doing different things and sort of swapping stories about what I've been up here, and the mates are like, what the hell's that? And that was there, and they're running around, The fact that you can have sort of, and then you got the secret forest and all these little bits hidden away, the waterfall and everything, and the fact you can go past the whole weekend. I mean, do you remember we had the moon?
The moon.
3 years ago.
I was looking for a picture of that actually. So it's on my phone, but
I mean, there are people who probably went past the whole weekend and didn't see the moon. Can you believe it? such a small festival, that just shows you how much else there is to go and see. But it never feels overwhelming. I mean, you always, like any small festival, you always kind of know, that you're safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, in terms of the layout of it, I think it's brilliant because you've got but the square stage for me is basically the omphalos of the entire site. So it's like just as long as you know your bearings from everywhere from the square stage, and it's a great meeting point. It's like I'll meet me at the hay bales at the square stage, and you can always get yourself back to there anyway. And it's not somewhere that you'd really lose. I mean, like if you maybe go up to like the viewpoint for like the late night DJing sets and stuff like that, then it can be quite difficult to find your pals in there. But I mean, you'd still find them.
After dark, that's it. I mean, I think that should be the case, shouldn't it? You need to be able to lose folk as well as find them, don't you?
Yeah. One of the years, so I think it was maybe 2016. I was invited to 2 separate marriage proposals where two guys had told me that they were going to propose to their girlfriends, and both of them were doing it in the saloon. So I think one was the Saturday night and one was the Sunday night. So it was like we had to we were given the time.
Was it up top? Was it?
No, both were downstairs. And so as you walk up with the square stage on your right, and then the saloon appears on your left. Just when you go through those first set of doors, and then just into the open clearing bit in the middle. But that was beautiful as well. So like each of them had a big circle of pals.
Bar. You know they're proposing to the golfers in a bar. You realise that, right?
I know.
The future.
Talking to the t-shirts, I was in my cupboard. I was looking for my Kelburn one, and then I forgot that there was one year you had a yellow Kelburn t-shirt with the red writing. It was a year we played, but I can't remember when that was. 2016 maybe, or 2017. And I got. Well, I always love to get a souvenir T-shirt wherever I go, be it support bands and artists and go to gigs and festivals and stuff like that.
And jumper on today from Uganda.
Very nice, very nice. Shout out to that. And add it on, and then one of the 60s on, and it's not the first time it's happened, and I usually just, I think I pretty much says yes every time, but they actually demanded the shirt off my back.
Right.
And as a Dijon trophy from the weekend. So I've not got it. I only just remembered that when I went to go on my Christmas. I was sure I would have kept the yellow one, but if you've got any yellow and the red ones kicking about,
I mean, man, a t-shirt. We always fail to sell a t-shirt, so there's got to be some somewhere, I'll swap you.
I'll speak to you. Okay, cool. Mickey there in the comments, he's got a question. Is there one festival that you've taken inspiration from and what Kelburn to be like, or is it all just in your own head?
I mean, you're always inspired. I mean, I think in terms of the actual form of the festival, then no, it's something that's come from the collective minds. But we've got to pay respects to Knockengorroch, I think, which is the festival that really there's a lot of us who are inspired to try and do a festival from Knockengorroch. That's kind of our background. In terms of the discovering the independent festivals, we'd all been to Tina Park and all that before that, but then seeing Knock was like, oh, this is possible, But in terms of the actual what happens at Kelburn, it's just grown organically. I guess it's the land actually. When you talk about the site, I guess it's the land. The land dictates what we do, So the landing stage is on a tennis court, and it lends itself to like a dance stage. The monument lends itself to to a certain kind of vibe and so on, So the land definitely leads the way in that sense as well, And it's such a wacky place. If you do it at Kelburn without the festival and walk about the gardens and the secret forest and the carvings and the art that exists there, the castle, even without the festival, it's a pretty wacky place,
Yeah, I'll give the Kelburn Garden Party website I shared just now in the comments. When we're allowed, when it's legal, safe, and workable to do so, it's definitely out in Largs, 45-minute drive from Glasgow.
Open this weekend. It's open from this weekend to drive.
Oh,
and I'm not quite sure what the rules are in terms of how far you can drive, but I suspect it's all right. You can drive there and pay £5, park your car, and go and walk up the Glen. So if the sun's out, I recommend that you do that.
This weekend coming up?
I think so. If you check the Kelburn Estate page, if you share the Kelburn Castle and Estate page, it's got the information there.
Website or Facebook? Either?
Yeah, Facebook. Facebook. Yeah.
I'll just find that just now. Jenny was saying there, you could see her comment there as well. There was a guy called Gerald.
Yes, he had a great time.
And he stayed on. He loved it that much.
Yeah, he. Do you know what happened? So he played on the Saturday night, and I had no idea he stayed until I was DJing at the after party on the Beach Plateau. After hours on the, whenever we have the after party on the Monday morning. It shouldn't be common knowledge actually, but and I'm playing Voodoo Rain, and guess who comes up to the booth? But fucking a guy called Giles, and he's like high five. I could not believe what I was seeing, Brilliant. So he missed his train, missed his flight, whatever, and stayed for the full whack. And that says, and to be honest with you, he's not the first. He's not the first touring artist to miss the train and stay at Kelburn, which says a lot, Is
he actually called Gerald?
It's a good question. I don't think he is, but I'm not entirely sure. Do you know?
I don't know. No. I would like to give a shout out. Obviously, we lost an absolute legend of the music world, sadly, who was booked to play. So let's raise our glasses again to Andy Weatherall.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gutted we didn't do it earlier. To be honest with you, I don't know what took us so long to book Andrew Weatherall, so we apologise to Andrew on this.
He's out there in the cosmos with Bowie and Prince. He's up there DJing away in the great gig in the sky. What's his tattoos again? Fail we might, sail we must. Is it?
I'm not sure, but that sounds good. Yeah.
He's got two matching. He had two matching tattoos on his arms.
Right. Yeah. Like that.
What a man! Just shout out there, Gaz Penders in Springburn. Thanks for tuning in. More questions for Chris? Let us know. I was going to ask you actually. So in 10 years, Gaz has never been to Kelburn. Right, you need to go next year, Gaz. Buy your ticket.
Yeah.
The event's in there.
Late to the party, Gary.
Aye, definitely, Gaz. And check out Saturday the 4th of next month, first of all, for the Kelburn House Party. We'll get that on. Keep the Kelburn memories ticking over. I was going to ask you, could you estimate in 10 years how many acts you think you've booked at Kelburn?
Well, we probably average 100 or so. More now, we've obviously added stages, but it must be around. It must be at least 1,000.
Right.
Obviously, quite a few people come play 2-3 times, like yourselves, obviously, But I mean, it's got to be up there, Yeah.
Is it an all year round job, the booking of it for you?
Kind of. I mean, it starts really. I mean, I'm obviously the summer season's busy for me, doing lots of going to other festivals and stuff, and doing everything else. But it sort of starts in September, I suppose, I try to start early each year. I don't know if you've noticed over the years, but maybe when we started doing the festival, you used to, all the festivals used to put out their lineup in maybe March or April, and as the years have gone by, the competition between the different festivals has got a bit more intense, and people are now trying to, outstrip the other to get the lineup out earlier. So it's kind of pushed everything forward, which is a good thing, actually. It's a good thing. So
It's good to be organised.
Definitely,
It was definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know who made the move first, but obviously somebody then thought actually getting a festival ticket would be an amazing Christmas present. So that was a game changer, obviously, in terms of that. So just to also give a shout out, I'm conscious of time, mate. Like, and what you said. How much longer have we got with you?
Just let's say 10:30, shall we? Just
right.
Right.
Okay, cool. So just to give a shout out.
We've done reminiscent here, definitely for sure. You know, it's been most needed actually.
I know. I was on a. John and I were asked to help a pal who's doing a music project for she does a teaching. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word there. She does music teaching, and she's teaching students and stuff. And she was wanting to speak to us just about the ethos of our band and how we attempt to put ourselves across at festivals and stuff like that. And just like we're doing here just now, I had a wee bit of bad news actually, just about an hour before I'd went on it, and I almost cancelled on it. And then after it, I was so glad I didn't, because it was just almost therapeutic even just to be talking about it. And for people who are so, if you're in the music industry and not just isolated to our industry, but I mean, our lives were basically turned off overnight.
Yeah.
Almost with no definite return date, and it was actually a bit like therapy for me actually to bring these podcasts out of the hibernation that they'd been in. We started them in the real world in our Crown Point studio, and then in the Barrowland Ballroom, filming them last February, I think the first one we did. With John and Colin Hunter, amazing musician from Ayrshire, who's also, he started his own podcast as well. So it's seems like the thing to do. His podcast is My Battery is Low and It's Getting Dark. Well, actually, just when we're talking about Henge here, I'm just scrolling back up my graphics suite. I'd booked Henge through my 23 promotions to play with John McMustard and the Daddy Bellies. 10-piece mixer and sports mixer. Well, it was originally going to be the spring equinox, Friday the 20th of March. So it was one of the first ones then that got moved back. We're hopeful that we can still let me know, Chris, if you can make it through for that, and I'll sort your guest list.
Well, let's get a date in in Edinburgh, maybe. On the back, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, they've a good old friend of mine's now taken on the agency, you know. So a guy that I work with at Kelburn actually. So
is that who have I been dealing with actually? Andre.
Yeah.
Andre, yes. Earth Agency.
Good chap. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's man. Andre Marmo.
Marmo, yeah, good lad. Yeah, he's played at Kelburn with Africa quite many times, and he does a lot of work, you know, behind the scenes for a lot of bands.
He helps you book for Kelburn as well.
No, I book a lot of his acts because he's a fantastic representative and agent, you know. But if when you get the rescheduled date, who knows? It might be nice to get a double header here, you know.
Well, that is just now Saturday, 5th of December. The rescheduled date.
So it is okay. Like, you have to be hopeful that things will be fine then, don't you?
Well, let me give you a wee update on that, Chris. Because this is important. This is important. Kind of. It was a meeting between the government and the NTIA, the Nighttime Industries Association.
Okay.
So this is. I'll keep anonymous who passed me the information just for their privacy.
You got here.
I've mentioned some of these stats on the last couple of them, but again, this is definitely valid information that you should know. Which is why the festivals that moved to later on in September, for example, Playground Festival, Mugstock Festival, and another wee one that we are booked to play in the Highlands called Woodstock, which is just going to be like a 499 cap family festival anyway. the Wildwoods Adventure Park.
Well, Knock and Gork are on as well. They'll be scheduled for September.
Oh, so they have. So the reason people have obviously asked me, like, why have they festivals not cancelled when every other one is basically down to the moving target of some of the information I'm about to share with you. So the Nighttime Industries Association, represented by like 750 plus venues, promoters, met with the government last, or had the sort of went through kind of like the white paper of moving through the phases, looking at the current modelling and the science and the legal, safe and workable guidelines about what they could do. Now, still at the moment, based on 2 metre social distancing, if any indoor venue was to open at 2 metre social distancing, then they would only be able to reopen at 12.5% of capacity.
No
so
chance.
we know that's not viable.
Yeah.
What they're forecasting? So let's not forget, obviously, the absolute fuck up that the Tories have made of this and the national disaster of how many people sadly have lost their lives from all this. We are the lucky ones sitting here just now digesting this information. In Scotland, we had 2 days there with 0 deaths, but then we had 7, which is the lag from the reported numbers over the weekend. But the R rate now is between 0.7 to 0.9 in Scotland. If that can continue to carry on in that downward curve, then potentially come August or September, indoor venues can open at a limited capacity based on 1 metre social distancing, which is 60% of capacity. Now, that's more viable, and there are some venues then that were represented at that who I've spoken to, who are now looking at potentially working out what they can do in terms of even like maybe like a hybrid of being able to get like X amount of people in based on that. After I had that conversation, who was it? Tenement TV done a piece with the co-owner of Sub Club and Donald McLeod from CPL, who owns a cat house in the garage. And they've put together like their sort of like proposals of how they envisage reopening. Like even like there's a whole piece around about the act of clubbing and being able to go out to gigs to help our mental health. Now, the UK Department for Minister Culture and Sport, Minister Culture and Leisure or Sport or whatever it is, one of the reasons why they were so keen to go through Project Restart with the Football League is because they know that it will be a morale booster for the football loving percentage of the nation. So they know that in terms of bringing entertainment back, which football also is, when it's legal, safe and workable, they want to move towards that as soon as we possibly can. I mean, it's obviously going to be before like, there would be any talk or we find a vaccine, I believe.
It has to be. I mean, it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think like the evolvement of our species coexisting with all the various viruses that we've had to contend with now, we obviously do need to reach a point where we reopen society and hopefully there won't be a second spike. So, for example, at Playground Festival, it's possible it's going to happen.
I mean, what a lineup, by the way! What an absolute banger! I mean, just super impressive, really. Yeah. I was away last year somewhere else, so this needs to be. So I didn't make it last year, so that could well be the big kind of reopening, couldn't it, of the scene, right?
Yeah, and if you. And that was the other reason why we pushed back with Andre and Henge. Shout out to Henge if you're tuning in. That's why we decided to push it right back to December. So hopefully that can go ahead as well. I had another good graphic as well, which was obviously there was a lot of subvertising going on around the various different graphics that came out. So let's not forget. We need to get out there and support live music as much as we possibly can because we need it. We're missing it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I've got a few questions.
I'll just
That's
probably
for you,
say, by trade, I'm a club promoter. That's what I do the rest of the year. So I'm really hanging on all this. As well. You talk about mental health. We've talked about talking a lot about Black Lives Matter and unity in society and whatnot. And I've been thinking a lot about how the act of night clubbing and the act of going out and mixing at gigs and at club nights is actually a form of social cohesion.
Definitely.
So I think you're absolutely right. Come the autumn, we're going to be dealing with this virus as another kind of risk factor, as we go outside. That's my belief as well, for sure.
We definitely we need to come back. We need to come back together again, and it's certainly I know. I think music is unity. Music knows no barriers to entry. The music that we know and love and that you book and promote at your own gigs and at Kelburn Festival is all about bringing people together regardless of anything to celebrate it. So there's a great quote that I've been dropping in here by one of my heroes, Joe Strummer from The Clash. And they said, we want people to know that we're anti-fascist, we're anti-violence, we're anti-racist, and we're pro-creative, we're against ignorance. And I think I could speak for us both in saying that we wholeheartedly stand by and agree with that and the Black Lives Matter campaign. And once we can get back out and experience music again, it's going to bring us all back together. Lou, I can't remember now what your comment refers to. Me neither yet. Oh, Kelburn.
Something about
okay.
Drum and bass.
No, Lou's never been to Kelburn either, so you can rectify that next year, Lou. Just before we finish at 5:30, we'll just have a quick recap on the next Kelburn event coming up, which is the Kelburn House Party on the 4th. So we'll end on that note. I'll just go through these comments here. So there was a question for you from Tom and Lou, who got married there. You've had a couple of drum and bass legends at Kelburn.
Oh, 100%.
Is that something that will continue?
Well, Aphrodite was booked this year, but I would shout out to Electrical Sound System. So they always do a takeover on the landing stage, and we'll continue bringing the drum and bass, for their sessions. 100%. Yeah.
I'll give Electrical Sound Systems Facebook a share in there because the guys know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. They certainly do. Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure to have that sound system on that space. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
What a sound,
they know how to bring the party. Tom's a massive, he's a junglist massive. Tom loves his drum and bass, his jungle. Jenny was saying, I hope so. I think that's in terms of the Nighttime Industries Association chat there. Or the drum and bass. Maria Boccianini, hi Selecta Mad Max.
Yeah, hi Maria. Wrong DJ, but hi Maria. We're all pals.
I had no idea that your nickname was Mad Max.
It's not, but it's
a wee pet nickname. Hey Maria.
They're just chatting they're just chatting on your feed. There we are. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Pereira.
Yeah. Long time no see.
Mary, that's a bit of good news. Yes, we need some light at the end of the tunnel. Music is unity. Indeed it is.
Yeah.
Music is power. Definitely keeping us sane. Peace and love, Jenny. Easy Don Astrojazz.
Hey, Max.
Concord Don. It's me. Right. Okay. Now, how many years have you been at Boomtown as a punter and as musician?
Well, we've never as a punter. No, we've always been with the venue. I mean, with Samedia. So I think it was 8 years last year. So I think maybe 2011 or 2012 we started going down when it was tiny, when it was just in the bowl downstairs. Downstairs. What am I talking about? Downtown. You know where the Bang High Palace is now, right?
Yeah.
It is downstairs. There's bloody massive stairs. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not wrong.
yeah. So we through sort of friends of friends, actually through the you'll know Arcadia from Glastonbury and stuff, but we're all pals with the guys who run Arcadia. So it was through them actually that they got us in when they were doing it there. So yeah, I mean, Boomtown's a whole other experience, isn't it? So I mean, I was holding out early on in the pandemic that Boomtown might still save the summer for us, you know, but obviously no. I am expecting them to do something pretty wild online for the weekend, you know. That tech wise, these guys are ahead of the game, you know.
They are. I describe Boomtown to people who've been to Glastonbury. I describe Boomtown as like Shangri-La, but everywhere.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah, on steroids.
It's the production, it's just the story, everything about it, man. It's just, if you don't know Boomtown Fair, I'm just going to drop. We've not got time to watch it. We'll come back to the Kelburn stuff and stuff.
I think Boomtown's a whole episode. If you want for a future episode, we can get in Captain, who's the head programmer of Boomtown.
I've spoken to him.
You know Captain, of course you will. So yeah.
I think he's, or as he used to be called, Trevor Nelson on the Facebook, without knowing that there was a.
Yeah, he got caught. Yeah, he got caught out. Yeah.
Shout out to Captain Barrett, as the man. We've got a pencil on a date, which I just need to confirm with him. But if you do not know Boomtown, was it Chapter 11 last year? It was.
I'm looking at my programs here. I'm not sure I've got the latest one here. I've got the.
It was. I'm going to share the Boomtown Fair. Chapter 11, A Radical City. After movie, I'm going to share that YouTube video in the comments. Give that a watch in your own time, and your head will absolutely explode. And really, what I hope off the back of this is every festival next year is a sellout. That's my
Probably because most of them have already sold the tickets that haven't been refunded, so they're already starting.
Yes.
In some ways, I mean, we've all got this massive bit of headspace now, haven't we? Because we don't have to start from scratch in September or January, whatever. So they will be getting tickets now for festivals next year, definitely, and all the programmers and the festival creators and whatever are going to have this extra time to actually hopefully think up more madcap ideas for next year. That's the hope, an
explosion of creativity.
There will be.
Mad Max Griffiths said we certainly did go downstairs to see Thomas Cook. Definitely downstairs from Maria.
And upstairs sometimes too.
Interesting chat, guys. Thank you. It is like a big Shangri-La. Bob and Leafs enjoyed the chat. Thank you very much. Bob will like this. So in terms of what these memes that have been going around, just to get some Partridge in, I'll move his comment out the way first, just to clear the screen a wee bit. This is Alan Partridge's take on this year.
Yeah.
I've got me food put on a spike.
There's a few
just referencing creativity there. We have a couple of sponsors of the 23 podcast show who are two heroes of mine. Greatest comedian ever of all time, in my opinion, philosopher, prophet. And at the moment, we are the facilitators of our own creative evolution. And we will be back with festival season, maybe at the end of festival season this year. Hopefully, we will be back next year as well. And my advice, if you're in a position to do so, is get your festival tickets early, because I sincerely hope that
absolutely, that's a massive help to all the festivals. I mean, even I mean, it's essentially crowdfunding to save the festivals by buying tickets, aren't you? So that's what you have to do. Yeah.
Definitely. We're getting behind them as much as we possibly can. And don't forget, when this is over, please support live music. So got a well, we've got 30 seconds left if we finish up at 10:30 there. So, do you want to just have a quick? We'll just finish off in the comments. Bob was loving that. Love to Alan. Disco ball for Alan. So let's just bring up the next event coming up for Kelburn, and let's just have a quick recap, even for the people who've joined us later into the chat.
Yeah, so on the obviously the 4th of July, that would be the weekend of Kelburn. We're going to be streaming a broadcast packed full of music and art from Kelburn artists, past and present. And we're also inviting you to pitch a tent. Hopefully, if it's allowed, get some mates round to your garden or your living room, create a festival campsite, and have a banging night basically with us. And we'll give, if you take photos of your campsite, you'll be able to find it all on the social media or whatever. But if you take photos of your campsite, we'll give tickets to next year's Kelburn for the best campsite. So the challenge is on. That's the Kelburn Campus Challenge. Can't say better than that.
The challenge is on, and the power of the disco ball compels you. The power of the disco ball compels you. Get it done.
It's gone down really well. I must say, people have actually really taken to the idea. So I reckon there's a lot of folk going to be up for this. It'll be a lot of fun.
Pushing the tent out. I've just given the Facebook event for that a share in the comments. Please go on and tick going. Chris has just covered it off there. I've absolutely no doubts whatsoever. This man has impeccable taste in music, and whatever is lined up to happen on Saturday the 4th of July, that's the place.
Thanks very much.
I've already cleared. There will not be a 23 podcast show that day, so that I can get fully immersed in the Kelburn universe as well. Yeah. And
listen, you got ahead of the technology. You know, that's the next step, isn't it? Get all the old heads around all this new technology. That's the biggest challenge, isn't it? So,
just as we've been chatting about this before we come on, just give us a shout if I can help out in any way. Anything before we go that you would lastly like to give a shout out for?
I mean, really, I would like to give a. I've got to sort of give it up for all the artists, the DJs, the musicians, the poets who haven't blinked an eyelid since the pandemic hit. They've just continued to be creative. They continue to share the music and share the art, and it's been, whilst almost all the rest of society has come to a halt, what's not stopped are these people's creativity, and I think and pretty much always for free as well. I think we have to really recognize that when this is over, that what has, and we have to hope that government at large recognizes it more, and reverses the funding cuts to the arts, and recognizes how important it's been to a collective mental health to have so many people keeping the engine going, online.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I actually found that article, Glasgow club owners issue pleas to save cultural value of city nightclubs. So just lastly there in the comments, thank you to Mickey for that lovely message there in Welsh. From the time we played Focus Wales, shout out to Andy Jones, Neil Redmond, all the team down there. We had an amazing time playing Focus Wales and Wrexham, so I picked up a wee bit of Welsh just from that. So I think he's saying there, thank you, chaps. Know that one. And that's peace, love and mustard in Welsh. I can't remember what the Nosway dab is, but thanks everybody for tuning in. The last post there I'm just going to put in, if you want to read what the latest from Glasgow nightclub owners is, I'll pop it into your messenger as well, Chris, so you can have a read of that. Just from a couple of days ago there. And Chris, been amazing chat, mate. Nice to see your face.
Yeah, nice man. Well. Thanks for the support always, David. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. To everybody in the 23 universe, you'll be able to get obviously this on catch up. Just to give a wee shout out for who we've got coming up for the rest of the week before we go. Tomorrow night I will be joined by a good pal, comrade, amazing musician, Dougie, from he's got his solo project Killer Whale that he's promoting. We're going to do a little bit of a listening party for his debut album. One day somebody everybody or something like that. I've forgotten already. Anyway, we're going to have a wee listening party for like 5 songs from his new Killer Whale album, which is his solo project. You may also know Dougie. Chris has booked him before from the Mickey Nines. That's his other band that he's also in as well. Friday night, well, it would be Eden Festival weekend this weekend. That's another festival not happening. So on Friday night, we're going to get all the Eden family together. We're going to have a Rabbie's Tavern special. So I'm going to be joined by my pals and the bookers from there. Stephen Scott from Mercy Las Vegas, George Campbell from Jelvis Presley and the Contrabands, Chris Blackmore, who runs Holy Smokes Records. We're going to have a Rabbie's Tavern special, just extend out to the wider Eden Festival family, get us all online. We're going to be kicking off a bit earlier, 7 o'clock on Friday evening, just to accommodate the people who are going to be on that. We're going to just run it through as long as we want anyway. We're going to have a bit of a who's who of some talent who've played Rabbie's Tavern over the year coming in, giving us a song or two, dropping back out again. So that's going to be an amazing night. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be joined by Felix Slavin and Jen O'Brien, who run the amazing music charity Music Broth in Glasgow, which is I believe Glasgow or possibly Scotland's first music instrument and equipment library, where you can pay a subscription and rent out, like you would get books from a library, musical instruments. And a lot of people have been using their amazing service. They're a charity throughout this lockdown, as well as, again, we've been seeing people have been getting creative. They are also in their own band called Seafarm. They've got some beautiful music, just released an EP as well. So we'll be on. That's the rest of the week's lineup. All that's left to say then is Joni Corbett, brilliant. Thanks for tuning in, Joni. Thank you, everybody in the 23 universe, for joining me tonight. This has been the 23 Podcast Show, episode 21, with myself, your host, David Blair, and my Hens t-shirt. I was looking forward to seeing them at Kelburn Garden Party this year. It will be next year now. Hopefully, we'll be seeing them in room 2 in December. And Chris Knight from Astrojazz Promotions, Kelburn Garden Party, Samedia Shebeen, Wee Dub Festival. Thank you very much. And John was just giving you a wee shout. Thank you very much for your time, Chris, and I'll chat to you soon, mate. All right, thanks everybody. Peace, love, festivals, support music. Thank you. Good night.